OG Anunoby has reportedly made a big decision regarding his free agency come this summer, and frankly, the decision makes a lot of sense for him. So we'll discuss that, including some brutal news that was dropped regarding Christian Koloko, an update regarding Pascal Siakam's future, and some Toronto Raptors jerseys leaked that look pretty fire. So lots of stuff to break down in this video. Without further ado, let's jump to the first topic of discussion. First thing we're taking a look at is OG making a big decision on his contract. Now, it's been talked about a bunch. It's been talked about a lot regarding the Toronto Raptors having three of their top guys in OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, as well as Gary Trent Jr., three of their highest paid players. I guess Pirtle's now included into that mix, now being upcoming free agents. They're in their contract years. All can be unrestricted free agents come next summer. And OG Anunoby is included in that pack. And Masai Ujiri directly addressed on Media Day how talks regarding potential extensions for specifically Gary Trent Jr. and OG Anunoby, the time for those talks are now. That's a direct quote from Masai Ujiri in yesterday's Media Day, but it seems like OG Anunoby has already made a decision regarding his future contract extension. As basically Mark Stein reported that OG Anunoby plans to enter free agency next summer and will not agree to a long-term extension. The Raptors' maximum possible extension is 4 years and $117 million. Will not be enough to convince OG Anunoby to skip out on free agency. So a lot of people might be looking at this and saying, hey, is this a guarantee that he's gone? Is this a major fumble by Masai Ujiri? What are we doing? OG Anunoby could leave for nothing. Not necessarily. Again, him entering free agency is a big risk for the Toronto Raptors, especially if they want to be frugal and they don't necessarily want to give him the type of money he can receive. However, OG Anunoby, this is the right decision for him, given how his career has gone, how his value has been established out there on the open market. I mean, the Raptors wouldn't even trade him for Damian Lillard, and some people might say that's crazy, but that's how the Toronto Raptors value OG Anunoby. So if he enters free agency, he can make a heck of a lot more money than that $117 million extension. So it makes sense for him to turn that down. And he also basically mentioned during Media Day that OG Anunoby, he wants to be here regarding Toronto Raptors. He wants to be with the Raptors organization. Again, his quotes are fairly, candid. They're a little bit dry. That doesn't seem there's that much substance to him, but everything that's come out of OG Anunoby's mouth regardless of all the reports about him wanting a bigger role, not happy with Nurse's sort of rotation, all that type of stuff, being the fourth, fifth option out there on the court. OG Anunoby has always expressed his love and interest and remained adamant that he wants to stay with the Toronto Raptors, even if he has the desire for a role increase, more money, and all that type of stuff. And it feels like, given the fact Masai Ujiri was unwilling to trade OG Anunoby for a superstar and Damian Lillard, he's likely going to be coming back and be receiving one of those maximum level deals. Obviously won't be in the running for a supermax or anything, but OG averaged 17, 5, and 2, but defensively brings you a whole lot more than sort of the box score indicates. He's a valuable piece for the Toronto Raptors. He's a younger guy, still, he's been a young guy for a while now at this point, kind of the tweener between vet and young guy, but fits more so the Scotty Barnes timeline than he did the Pascal Fred VanVleet sort of era of players, but OG Anunoby is the guy I want to see on the Toronto Raptors in the future, and he wasn't going to sign that extension, so I guess that sort of makes sense. Maybe you did it a little bit earlier. I guess you couldn't really do that, but we'll see what ends up happening. Hopefully Masai Ujiri's keeping close with OG Anunoby to make sure he doesn't leave for nothing in free agency. And if he gets that sense that he could leave or the Raptors don't want to pay him, then we'll probably see those trade talks amp up come the trade deadline. Now, next thing we're taking a look at is some brutal Christian Koloko news. And Christian Koloko is a guy that I was really excited and still am really excited about his future, his potential development, and how he could come into the season, with a year under his belt. Rookie centers, they always take a couple years to sort of become acclimated to the NBA. The more force the banging down low and all that type of stuff. But unfortunately, we didn't get to see Christian Koloko play during this year's summer league as he was dealing with a respiratory issue. And basically, a lot of people assume, given how much time has passed and all that type of stuff, that would have passed to her at this point. But unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case, as reports have come out that the Raptors have announced that Christian Koloko will be out indefinitely and will not participate in training camp in BC. He's dealing with the same respiratory issue, or I imagine it's the same respiratory issue. But this is just really unfortunate stuff. Obviously, things like your lung health, your breathing, and all that type of stuff, you don't want to push that if there's some issues going on that front. So hopefully things end up working out for Christian Koloko. Obviously not something he should try to push through. I don't even know how you can prevent something like that extra exercise or anything along those lines, but scary stuff always happening with respiratory issues and all that type of stuff. So hopefully Christian Koloko can recover quickly, recover healthily. Firstly, that's the most important thing, and can get back into the Toronto Raptors lineup, because he's likely going to be the backup center for this Raptors team. Obviously, Precious can slide in there as the backup five as well, but there's a lot of opportunity for Koloko to potentially have a, send his impact onto this season. So looking forward to his potential development, and most importantly, him getting healthy and hopefully coming back strong at some point during this year. So keep you updated on everything regarding Christian Koloko. Next thing we're talking about is Pascal Siakam extension details. Regarding his potential future and all that stuff, some details have been revealed. And during the media day, there's a lot of stuff going on with Pascal Siakam, potential shots by Masai Ujiri. I'm not going to debate that anymore, but it seemed like there was a little bit of awkwardness at least happening during media day. But Pascal Siakam, regardless of all the trade discussions, of all the sort of talks that have been going on along those lines, Pascal Siakam still apparently wants to be with the Toronto Raptors, as basically, if and when an offer comes, and according to a source, he would be open to signing an extension. Any awkward posturing leading up to it would likely be water under the bridge, according to Josh Lewenberg. Now, he did have comments during Raptors Media Day saying that he wants to be a part of somewhere where he's winning, and he can just feel happy, feel joyful and stuff. Didn't seem like those were the vibes that would be given off during the Media Day sort of run, but Pascal Siakam is a guy I'd like to see extended at the Raptors. Masai Ujiri said that those talks will happen at some point, even though they haven't happened just yet. It's better than him leaving for nothing. So we'll see how the season plays out. I guess Masai also talked about how he can sort of fit into a less selfish system. But again, with OG Anunoby entering free agency by all indications, Pascal Siakam being a free agent as well, Gary still question marks. He said he's just going to control what he can control, Gary Trent Jr. himself. We'll see what ends up occurring for this Toronto Raptors team and if Pascal Siakam ends up getting an extension. But let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below. Final thing we're discussing in this video is the Raptors having a couple of one new jersey leaked. I'm thinking jersey and shorts and stuff. And personally, and I think I share the same sentiment as a lot of people that watch the videos and just watch the Toronto Raptors in general, the Raptors' current jerseys just aren't that great. At least in my opinion, the Scotty Barnes one, this one here, not the cleanest kits the Toronto Raptors have ever had. Arguably, probably the worst in my opinion from what I've seen. So this whole era of Toronto Raptors basketball with the chevron, I'm not talking the North candy cane jerseys we had winning the NBA championship, but the ones that we've sort of rocked for the past 2-3 seasons, they could use an updating. And even the city jerseys haven't been that great in my opinion, with this sort of triangle style, the chevron style. But we did see some leaked jerseys, some new city jerseys, I imagine, or whatever the heck they're calling them from Nike, come from Dennis Schroeder's story and look pretty clean. Basically, it might be tough to see here, but we got the rounded sort of cover. It's tough to see the direct color in terms of how this will all look there, but from afar, I'm excited to see a really good look of how these jerseys will sort of come out, on the court and in pictures. I'm sure closer to the actual City Day release. We'll see how all these things sort of look. But Dennis Schroeder pulling it off there now. It's kind of got the old sort of style to it, the old retro jerseys like the DeMar one I have behind me here. Right. Those little jagged designs. So excited to see that, and potentially it's moving the Toronto Raptors in the direction of a little bit of a rebrand. I guess the chevron that we had our city jerseys when we had Kawhi Leonard moved us into this sort of style we have going here now. Hopefully this jersey that Dennis Schroeder is wearing is an indication that we might be moving in that stylistic direction in the future seasons. And maybe that's all we need to sort of change over this era of Toronto Raptors basketball. Has frankly been a little bit underwhelming given the Tampa Tank season. The season, not last year, but the season prior was actually pretty fun. But last year especially was one of the most unfortunate ones to watch as a Toronto Raptors fan. So maybe a kit change will help change the aura of the organization. But let me know what you guys think about all this Toronto Raptors news. You guys are the best for making this far. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. If you want the latest update regarding all the media day stuff, Scotty Barnes development, click this video right here. Anyways, I'm signing out. Cheers.